Hi, I'm Stephen. Today we're going to be learning how to actually make a video. So this is broken up into 4 different steps. You've got your pre-production, you've got your filming or your production, then we've got your editing, and then finally we finish with publication and sort of putting it somewhere up on the web so that our students can actually watch it and learn from you wherever they are. So when it comes to actually producing the video, obviously the first thing you need to think about is this is an instructional video, so you can either do it at your school, you can do it in class, or you can do it at home. And all of these things will make you different levels of comfortable. If you're doing it in class, there's a whole bunch of technical things that you need to consider, such as a wireless microphone and kind of getting a good shot of you teaching. But if you're doing it at home or sitting in front of a computer, it's a lot easier. And the only thing you need to worry about really is knowing your stuff and being ready to actually film it. If you make a mistake, you're going to pause and you're going to start filming again. You're not going to worry too much about it because this is you teaching. If you make any errors, it's for your students and they know you and they know the mistakes that you might make. And that's something that you can laugh about if and when you include that in your video. So for this, if you're just starting out, sometimes people like to use a script and really take notes. I would suggest that you're a teacher and that kind of talking is something that you're hopefully familiar with, and I would presume that you're across the content. But when you're starting out, you might want to script it, you might want to have a PowerPoint, you might want to have things really prepared. And if you stuff it up, you just pause and you start to film again. You don't want to worry about editing too much. So now we're going to actually produce your video. So importantly, are you doing this at school, in an empty room? Are you doing it in a classroom full of students? Or are you doing it at home? Each of these things will have different sort of effects upon you as your performance. But if you're just filming it by yourself in front of a computer, there's less to worry about. And essentially, if you make any small mistakes, just keep going. But if you make any larger mistakes, you might want to just stop it and start it again. You don't want to think about editing at this stage. You just want to, if you do it wrong or make an error, just start filming again and then run with that clip that you've produced. All right, so for editing, this again is an optional process and only something if you're very self-conscious. For me personally, I edited myself very heavily at the start. Every sort of breath I actually edited out, and any time that I made a slight slip, I would cut something else in. But if you're going to do that, you're going to start really simply. So use whatever you've got. Use Video Editor on Microsoft, use Adobe Spark, use a very simple program. Me personally, I use Camtasia, which costs a little bit more, but it's a very accessible program. If you want to get very fancy, you might want to use something like Adobe Premiere Pro, and then you can do a whole bunch of extra things to make it more complicated. But essentially, start with whatever you've got and whatever you're familiar with, and just work from there. All right, the final step is publication, and this is the most important because it's when you get your content from your device up into the internet so that the students can actually use it. So there's a multitude of options. You might want to keep it locked down on your LMS, put it on Microsoft Stream, upload it to ClickView, Vimeo, or finally YouTube. And each of these, you have options around the privacy that's involved with the video. So you might want to have it completely locked down so only your students can access it, or you might want to have it public, for example on YouTube where anyone can view it, or you might want to keep it a lot safer because maybe you're not entirely comfortable yet, and keep it private to your own school.